Where better then than Headingley to stage a finale to a series which stood level at 1-1, historically a result pitch, and a forecast promising much overcast weather.
It was great fun turning up to a test match where the whole country was talking about it. There wasn't many other sports on, and you know, I look forward to most tests, but I was really looking forward to that one because we had a chance of doing something special. You know, there's nothing worse than turning up last test match and you're 2-0 down and you're just playing for pride. We were actually turning up and there was something great to achieve there, which I suppose is how you should turn up to every test match, but that was there right in front of your eyes at Headingley.
Team selection caused much debate as South Africa left out spinner Paul Adams on this seam-friendly pitch and recalled Makaya Ntini. They also brought in Big Mac, Brian McMillan, for Steve Elworthy in order to perhaps rather negatively bolster up the batting. CORNHILL had not been identified as an attacking captain, and although safety first is generally his preference, it appeared that the South African selectors were spot on for the Headingley conditions. Strangely, England decided to persevere with their spinner, Ian Salisbury, and resisted any temptation to drop Andrew Flintoff on the grounds of inexperience in this cauldron-like atmosphere. England won the toss and batted. The first innings total of 230 proved little, except that Mark Butcher had now arrived as the test batsman. With the ball moving around off the seam, he batted beautifully for over 5 hours, for 116.
Well, not even Johnny Rhodes can do anything about that. That's a cracking shot.
The series started for Mark Butcher on the back of a pair in Antigua, and he came out here and proved to be a very fine player, and I'm pleased that the England selectors backed him, because he could easily not have started with him this summer. And I think he's been the success story, and to find a top left-handed opening partner for Michael Atherton has been one of the great pluses for England.
The target was to get as many as we could, ideally 400, if not 350. And you say at 180 for 3 or whatever it was, we were on the road to getting a fair total. Unfortunately, when you're up against a top attack, as South Africa are, they can suddenly run through you, and on this occasion they did that.
In the midst of another England batting collapse, Graham Hick had a nightmare, cutting Ntini to cover for yet another soft dismissal. And Andrew Flintoff was unlucky to have been given out caught at short leg off his pad. This followed Nasser Hussain's disappointment following his dismissal, and was the start of yet more controversial umpiring decisions. There were several decisions made by Pakistani umpire Javed Akhtar, which gave strength to the rumour that he was somewhat deaf in one ear.
Just, you know, I remember being in the shower with Bumble, and Bumble just sort of in his usual way sort of said, well, that was bloody hopeless, wasn't it? That was the worst batting I've seen all summer. And then you realise, well, let's go and do something about it.
Gus Fraser yet again bowled magnificently for another 5-wicket haul, this time 5 for 42 off 25 overs. Darren Gough was his normal, rather overexcitable self at Headingley in front of his own supporters, but also bowled well for his 3 for 58.
I thought it was a brilliant performance. Like I say, Angus Fraser again to get 5 wickets. Self got 3 and Dominic got 2, so we were pretty pleased to bowl them out.
Hansie Cronje's wicket yet again became the prize one, and although he probably wasn't over amused at his LBW decision to Fraser, he had yet again played beautifully for 57.
Oh, Hansie Cronje is not happy with that one. It was close.
There were several debatable decisions which were always going to play a part in the end result, in a tight, low-scoring match. And although Kirsten and Cronje were most unhappy, the decision to give Michael Atherton out in the second innings, LBW off bat and pad, was perhaps the poorest of them all.
Obviously, Athers was out adjudged LBW first ball of the morning. The wicket was, again, just showing signs of a little bit of wear. The bounce had been a little bit indifferent, and again, some good innings were required. Unfortunately, Nasser Hussain scored again 94 or 96, whatever it was worth probably 150 in my eyes, and that was a truly match-winning performance by him.
England scrapped well in the second innings, having conceded a 32-run deficit, with Butcher, Stewart and Ramprakash all playing a valuable part. It was Nasser Hussain, though, who held the innings together, scoring 94, and his departure from the crease with tears in his eyes just showed how desperate he and the whole England team were to win this series.
Well, there it is. It's held up in the pitch. Batsman has played just a little too early. Nasser Hussain has gone. And do England's chances go with him? They haven't got quite enough runs on the board at the moment.
However, his dismissal came at a bad time, as England were experiencing yet another collapse at the hands of Donald and Pollock, who took 5 wickets apiece.
Alan Donald and Sean Pollock were magnificent with the ball, and it was going to be a a real tough test for us.
As England slipped from 200 for 3 to 240 all out, Hicks suffered the indignity of being caught in the covers cheaply twice in the same match, and Andrew Flintoff, I'm afraid to say, a pair.
That's got him. There is the pair. Alan Donald.
Little did we know then that the real drama of this match, and indeed the entire series, was yet to unfold.
I'm sure everyone will tell you, Bumble and all the sports psychologists will tell you, we went out there saying we will win, but I went out there thinking, you know, God, I wish I'd got us another 40 runs somewhere and hang around with a tail, and that could be crucial. We could win here, but I hope it doesn't come down to that. You know, it was always going to be close. They were never going to get 240 for 2. They were never going to do that on that wicket with our bowling attack.
The tension around the ground on the fourth day was electric as South Africa set off in pursuit of 219. The key was how they might cope with the new ball, which had done a lot during each innings. A fired-up Gough and the admirable Fraser had a simple answer. First, Jerry Liebenberg for 6, who'd had a nightmare tour and looked to have got a nick onto his LBW. Then Gary Kirsten for 3, Jack Callis for 3, Hansie Cronje for 0, and Darrell Cunnalan also for a blob.
27 for 5, I think they were. And I mean, they couldn't ask for a better start. And we thought, I mean, all the crowd was behind us, and I didn't think, all we did was just bowl straight. We didn't do anything special, we just tried to bowl straight. We didn't try and bowl too fast, we just bowled straight. And the pressure was on them, and you could see it.
And that's much closer. So close, it's out.
But England would have remembered Lords, where the little jack-in-the-box, Jonty Rhodes, pulled his team out of the mire. His general demeanour, whether in the field, where he yet again proved he's the best cover point of all time, or scampering between the wickets stealing runs, he had been an inspiration. Also, England would now have rued their team selection, as Ian Salisbury had no part to play, and South Africa's trump card, Brian McMillan, walked into bat at number 7. Any fears the England players still had were well founded, as McMillan and Rhodes were together for 2.5 hours, putting on 117 to take the score to 144 for 5.
The nerves started to go. I mean, they were favourites again. I mean, it kept swinging from one side to the other.
England were desperate for inspiration from somewhere, and it came from Dominic Cork, who had struggled to cope with the pressure at times during this match. He'd attacked both batsmen with an assortment of bouncers and slower balls, and Brian McMillan fell for his own kind of wearing down tactic and went for a wild hook, which yet again turned the game England's way. Darren Gough struck twice more, taking the crucial wicket of Jonty Rhodes, who had scored 85 and had played one of the most memorable of Test innings. He did not deserve to lose this match.
We knew we needed Jonty out, he was the key. And to get him out there, and it would be my 100th wicket as well. I mean, it was a great feeling, and the relief amongst the players on the field was enormous.
The dismissal of Mark Boucher put South Africa in real trouble at 175 for 8, leaving the job of finding 44 runs to Donald and Pollock. Well, they had scrambled 11 of them when the scheduled close of play arrived, and South Africa unusually missed a trick. The law states that if either captain believes it is possible for his side to force a result, then an extra half an hour can be taken. There was no question that this extra period would have benefited South Africa, as England were visibly tiring in the field. Angus Fraser had been off the field for treatment on a back injury and wasn't fit to bowl, which left only 2 front-line seamers, Cork and Gough, who were on their last legs. But the South Africans were indecisive, and the 2 batsmen did not know what was required by their captain, Hansie Cronje. By the time the 12th man rushed onto the field with a message, the moment had gone and the stumps were drawn for the end of play. I cannot believe that this should be allowed to happen again from a marketing of cricket point of view. A full house on the edge of their seats, 33 runs to win with 2 wickets in hand, and the players all go home. At least when we all came back on the final day, the tension of the occasion was still there.
The dressing room the next day was so quiet. Once it was so quiet, it was untrue. After 10:15, I mean, everybody just wanted to get out there and see what was going to happen, because nobody knew what was going to happen.
Gussie wasn't a problem. Yes, he had a bad back, but Gussie's got a heart the size of the biggest thing you can think of, and he was fit to bowl. You know, he may not have been 100% fit, but there's no way he was staying off the field. And Goughy had food poisoning. He made sure we all knew about it. But again, another one with a huge heart, and we knew, you know, they both had to bowl.
Well, war, and the batsman's gone. Donald is out. Fraser has got him put behind by Stewart.
And I don't think Nintini's a mug with the bat. I mean, he played a couple of forward defences to me and I thought, oh dear, this might be harder than I actually thought. And then I just got that one, it just drifted in a little bit, and the appeal, I could hardly get the appeal out. I mean, you know, you're out of breath anyway. And then I just saw his finger coming up and that was it. I mean, you can't explain it.
Javed Akhtar has given out Micaiah Ntini, and England have won the Test match.
Eventually when Ntini was LBW to Goffey, then it was certainly a huge thrill, one of the biggest thrills I've certainly had in cricket.
The relief on people's faces and the delight on Angus Fraser, like I said, he's waited so long, he's up and down in his career, and you saw him with a towel on his head, you know how much it meant to people to get that victory.
The South Africans will be sore for a while to come, as they can reflect on a series which they expected and perhaps should have won. The unlikely batting hero Robert Croft, who kept England in the series at Old Trafford, with Angus Fraser, who survived 13 balls and kept Alan Donald out. They will be angry with the way the batsmen applied themselves following some indifferent umpiring at Trent Bridge, and that they had the worst of it at Headingley. But to the South Africans' credit, they took it on the chin and realised that despite the rub of the green turning against them, that England had shown great team spirit and deservedly stole the series.
South Africa, I'm not sure if they deserve to lose. I'm not sure if anyone deserved to lose. But you know, Bumble said to us, get out there, enjoy, you know, winning, enjoy being victors for a change, and that was very important to us.
The umpiring issue will go on and on. Never before have umpires been subjected to such public pressure. Surely it cannot be correct for the whole world to see the super slow motion replays on every decision, which normally comes up with a conclusive answer, without the umpires being privy to this technology. Whatever happens, the umpires must have the pressure taken off them. It is not good enough for people to say simply that the umpires are paid to do a job, so they must accept the flak if they make mistakes. They will make mistakes if we continue to put them under this kind of pressure. Anyway, well done England on a terrific series win, 2-1, and well done to the men of the series, Alan Donald of South Africa and Michael Atherton of England, and of course a particular well done to Alex Stewart, who's done a terrific job in a very short period of time. He might just bring home the Ashes too.
So a fantastic victory and a real confidence booster for the England team, who could savour their success and look forward eagerly perhaps to the winter's contest for the Ashes in Australia.